yeah, we're on very good terms with Lawrence. Like I said, he was the first guy that I managed, and he will always hold a very special place in my heart. And I understand the reasons why he wanted to go. He's relocated himself out to Dubai. He's got a team around him there that he wants to work with, that he's known for a long time, a lot longer than he's known us. So we fully respected that decision. So we parted ways on good terms. Again, we were not, once he left us, we then didn't have visibility on the stuff that was going back and forth with Matchroom. And I don't want to, get involved in other people's business, but what I saw last night was that there seems to be an agreement now that the contract has expired and he is a free agent and he's free to go and talk to whoever he wants. It all kind of stemmed from this, is there one more fight on the contract or not, which was originally around the Glowacki incident when that fight first fell through. And the only thing that I can say on it, in support of what Lawrence is saying, because this was the argument that we were building because right up until he left us just as we were starting to have kind of build this, well, for want of a better phrase, argument against Matchroom as to why there wasn't another fight on the contract. But that fight, it was Jazuski who stepped in place of Glowacki, which they claimed was another fight. But Lawrence, who is the owner of his own image rights company, which is contracted with Matchroom, and we never signed any legal document, any contract that said, yes, this fight is going to take place outside of the original agreement that we've got. And that was always our argument. But then he left us. He had his team in Dubai going through it all. And I've said this to you on a number of occasions, Danny, for how frustrating I found it, because, and I said to you last time, it's going to get resolved eventually, and it has now been resolved, which is great, and he can get back to his career, which is the most important thing. I felt like, that whole situation probably could have been avoided, because when right in the middle of them going through this back and forth, we were trying to get him to fight on the AJ undercard in Saudi. And if they were saying that you've got one fight left, in my opinion, what I was saying to Lawrence before he left us was, just do the fight in Saudi, which is your last fight. You get paid a shed load of money on a big card, and then you can go to market anyway at the end of the year. Had he done that, he could have had the fight in August. He could have maybe had a new deal and been fighting again in December. As it turns out, he didn't. He had to back himself and go through that process, which he's done. So I'm just delighted now that it seems to be over. And he can just push on with his career and get back to fighting. Because I honestly, I know he gets criticised sometimes for performances and stuff, but I think he is easily the best cruiserweight in the world. He should be unified champion, and he should move up to heavyweight, and he should do the same at heavyweight. I think there's a lot of potential with him. So I'm delighted that he's going to be, he's getting back to his career now. It's not that we didn't want him to re-sign with Matchroom. It's, Matchroom are a world-class promoter. They pay good money. They pay on time, which you can't say for everybody in this sport. Like, they're a very reliable and trustworthy company to work with. So that we weren't pushing him to leave, but our job is to represent our fighters' best interests. If you're a free agent, I think it is within your best interest to go to market and see where your value is, see what everybody's saying. If you're going to go and buy a car, you don't go into a dealership and buy the first one that you look at. You go and test drive a few, you go and look at the different prices, etc. You've got to assess all of your options. It's within a fighter's interest to look at all the options are on the table for them when they have the opportunity to. So when we believed that Lawrence was out of contract, we wanted to go, quite honestly, and get other offers, because when it comes to negotiations, it's all about creating leverage, So we want to see what the various third parties, how they value him, how badly they want him, and Matchroom would always have an opportunity to match the offer, which is a pretty standard contractual thing.
Like first and last.
Exactly, yeah. So it was never we're trying to force a move away from Matchroom. It was just, you're a free agent, go to market and see what is the best move for you, what's the best value offer for you, and he's entitled to do that, as a fighter. So that's all it was. It was never trying to force a move away from Matchroom for the sake of it.